Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our Sunday morning meditation here at Sophie's Bar and Grill. For those of you that are here and those of you joining from home, we're really happy that you're here. So we're going to take a few moments to turn within. I invite you to close your outer eyes. Taking a deep, deep breath inward, filling the lungs, release, and again, relaxing our jaw, neck, relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our belly, fully arriving in this moment now. As we know, there's so much going on out there. We're going to take some time to turn within and journey inward. My meditation this morning is a Yogananda meditation, and it's titled Expansion and Eternity, or as I like to call it, I am all that and more. Eternity yawns at me below, above, on the left and on the right, in front and behind, within and without. With open eyes, I behold myself as the little body. With closed eyes, I perceive myself as the cosmic center around which revolves the sphere of eternity, the sphere of bliss, the sphere of omniscient living space. I feel spirit like a gentle breath of bliss, breathing in my body of universes. I perceive it shining through the bright twinkles of all luminosity and through the waves of cosmic consciousness. I behold spirit, the light of solar inspiration, holding the luminaries of my thoughts and the rhythms of balance. I feel it as a bursting voice, leading, guiding, teaching secretly in the soul temples of all people through all creation. Spirit is the fountain of wisdom and of radiant inspiration flowing through all souls. It is the fragrance oozing from the incense base of all hearts. I feel spirit percolating through my heart, as through all hearts, through the pores of the earth, through the sky, through all created things. It is the eternal motion of joy. It is the mirror of silence in which all creation is reflected. My earthly experiences serve as a process of destruction of my limiting mortal delusions. In God, even the most impossible dreams are realized. I am submerged in this eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. Divine Spirit, I behold only Thee within and without. I will close my physical eyes and dismiss the temptations of matter. I will peer through the darkness of silence until my eyes of relativity open into the one inner eye of light. When my two eyes that behold both good and evil become single, and behold in everything only the divine goodness of God, I shall see that my body, mind, and soul have become filled with its omnipresent light. The reality of my life cannot die, for I am indestructible consciousness. All the veils of my ignorant outer life are burned in the light of my awakening in consciousness. I am infinite. I am spaceless. I am tireless. I am beyond body, thought, and utterance. Beyond all matter and mind, I am endless bliss. The ocean of spirit has become the little bubble of my soul. Whether floating in birth or disappearing in death, in the ocean of cosmic awareness, the bubble of my life cannot die. I am indestructible consciousness protected in the bosom of Spirit's immortality. I am no longer the wave of consciousness thinking itself separated from the sea of cosmic consciousness. I am the ocean of spirit that has become the wave of human life. Like a silent, invisible river flowing beneath the desert flows the vast, dimensionless river of spirit, through the sands of time, through the sands of experience, through the sands of all souls, through the sands of all living atoms, through the sands of all space. Spirit, thou art sacred perennial joy. Thou art the joy I seek. Thou art the joy of the soul. Teach me to recognize thee through the joy born of meditation, in me, as me, and through me for all eternity. Divine Mother, everywhere I hear the rhythm of your footsteps, dancing wildly in the booming thunder and softly in the song of atoms. So as we gently bring our attention back into the matter of our bodies, I invite you to use the consciousness that you're experiencing now, that you've just experienced, to filter through the things that our eyes see in the coming weeks, months, years. That we know that there's ample confusion, chaos, splendor, beauty, all combined, all making up this experience that we call life. But that we remember who we are with a capital W. Remember that Spirit is on the scene, in us, as us, and through us. That we bring that consciousness to all the moments of our lives. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we hope that you'll stay tuned for our 10:45 service today. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm on after 2 weeks away. I forgot that I was supposed to wait till on. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. I welcome all of those of you who are here at Sophie's Grill and Bar, and for those of you that have rooms this morning, thank you very much for making us a part of your day. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the privilege and honor of being the senior minister of this magnificent community. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, and we believe that there is one power in us, one creative energy back of everything that there is. This power and presence can go by many different names: God, or
Buddha, or peace, or love, or first cause, or source energy. But by whatever name we call it, it is the very essence of peace and joy, creativity, love, freedom, and grace. And we are its ambassadors on the planet. We are here to bring forward all of those wonderful God qualities and for God to experience life on earth through and as each and every single one of us, individually and collectively. We believe that, since we believe that God is the source of all things, seen and unseen, and that we were created in its image and likeness, then we too have this creative ability. And we, in fact, create the experiences of our lives. Now, that might weigh a little heavy on some of you, might not like that responsibility or want that responsibility, but I really believe that it's the good news. You know, that good news that they talk about. That's the good news. If we don't like the experience that we're having, we are the ones that can change it. Change your thinking, change your life, change your thoughts, letting go of those that are no longer serving you, and bringing forward to the forefront of your lives those that do. And by doing so, we create new experiences and change the overall experience of our life. And when we up-level our own lives, then we assist to up-level the life of everyone on the planet. And for me, that's a really good thing. So I'm glad that you are here. We come together to support each other on this spiritual path, to remind each other who we are when we tend to forget, and to just celebrate life and the way that this all works. And so we're glad that you have joined us today. We have a flower dedication today, and that flower dedication is for Ava Ladocha from Heather Abbott on her birthday today. Heather says, "I am so grateful to have you as my friend and to have had the pleasure of getting to know you over the years here at the center. You have shown up authentically, open to share and learn, always kind and always enthusiastic. When we started working together on AV, you were and still are my rock, calm, patient, and understanding. You share your time, innumerable skills, and talents freely, and that has been a big blessing. I am so excited for your next year of life, for your upcoming nuptials, for the manifestation of your entrepreneurial spirit, and for all of the beautiful ways that your life is unfolding. Happy birthday, Ava, with lots of love from Heather." Happy birthday, Ava. Speaking of a blessing, we were blessed by a beautiful and wonderful meditation this morning, really brilliantly facilitated by one of our licensed spiritual practitioners, Michelle Love. So thank you so very much for that, Michelle. And speaking of Michelle, please welcome her back to the podium.
Thank you, Dusty. Good morning, everyone. So our theme for Centers for Spiritual Living for 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. Our theme for the month of May is Emotions. Reverend Dusty's talk title today is If You're Happy and You Know It. You almost want to clap. I'm now going to read this center's community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives into being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God, and so it is. We're going to take just a few moments to center ourselves before the service gets going today, so I invite you to close your outer eyes just for a few moments. Turn within, opening your heart and mind and allowing the healing sounds of the crystal bowls to just flow through you.
Licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. And the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Please welcome Chris and Marjorie, who will be assisting us this morning. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge and action and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, guys. Now I'd like to invite you to close your eyes one more time as I speak a blessing on this service. In this moment, I tune out all dull, negative ideas and tune in with the sunshine of life and brightness and laughter, with the joyous presence that is life itself. I know that all the beauty of form around me is the garment of God. I know that this presence is manifested in my heart and mind and is God pressing himself within the garment of form. As I feel this presence more and more, I hear the song of joy deep within. And always I am still and hear the song of life pouring through my consciousness. And I know that this song of life is pouring through the consciousness of Reverend Dusty, and I speak a blessing on her as she brings her beloved self to us this morning with her inspirational message. And I speak a blessing on all the volunteers that have made this service possible, and the musician Karen Daly, and you, the congregation, in whom I hold with deep love and respect. And so it is. And Karen, are you ready? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You're going to have to hang on 1 second because I keep forgetting about the reading. Every time I get up here, I do this. Oh, well. The reading for today is from David Brooks. We live on two mountains, the mountain of making money and having power and success, and the mountain of inner fulfillment and relationships. Happiness is what you earn on the first mountain. You have success, you get a promotion at work, and that's great. But joy is what you get on the second mountain. Joy is when the self disappears. When you're lost in your work because it really makes a difference in the world, or you're lost in your love for someone else where you forget where you and the other person end, happiness is good. Joy is better. And so it is. And now, the amazing, wonderful Karen Daly.
Thank you. There we go. Hey, my turn. Perfect. Good morning, everybody. Um, so in this month of emotion, I have been experiencing quite a few of them, it seems. So in searching for a song, I think this is probably something that really resonated with me. I think what I'm finding is that when I disconnect from my deeper self, or when I disconnect from spirit and just sort of plow through and think that I'm going to be able to be okay, it crashes and burns every time. So I don't want to go through the motions. I want to connect. I want to be deep, and I want to be better every day. So this is one of the songs that reminds me to do that, and it is by Matthew West called Emotions. This might hurt, I'll be brave, 'cause I know that I gotta make a change. I don't care if I break, at least I'll be feeling something. It's just okay, it's not enough. Help me fight through the challenges of this life. I don't wanna go through the motions. I don't wanna go one more day without your arms consuming passion inside of me. And I don't wanna spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? No regrets, not this time. Gonna let my heart beat my mind. Let your love make me whole. I think I'm finally feeling something. It's just okay, it's not enough. Help me fight through the challenges of this life. I don't wanna go through the motions. No, I don't wanna go one more day without your all-consuming passion inside of me. And I don't wanna spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? Take me all the way. Take me all the way. Take me all the way. I don't wanna go through the motions. I don't wanna go one more day without your all-consuming passion inside of me. And I don't wanna spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? Take me all the way.
That song, and I'm on my knees. A moment of devotion, a moment of worship. Thank you so very much. That was absolutely, and the right and perfect song, of course, for this month and this day. A little bit of a hard act for me to follow. Maybe we should just all call it a day and go home. Because I'm starting in song. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face is gonna show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Thank you. Now, my guess is that most of us remember this fun children's song. It's a song that really is a declaration or an affirmation, right? It's a pure depiction of happiness and joy. The song has us proclaim and actually gesture. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, stomp your feet, or shout hooray, one verse after the other. Just the act of participating in that song makes us smile and actually feel a little bit better. It brings gladness to our hearts, and it takes us from where we are energetically to a higher state. Even if we're already happy, our happiness meter goes up a notch or two. Singing, humming, whistling, smiling, and dancing all do that very same thing. They can make us excited and inspired. They put a pep in our step, and they somehow make us feel lighter. These expressions of happiness are contagious, and they really spread out to others, and they get others in that joyful spirit too. The "if you're happy and you know it" principle is an affirmation, a declaration, and even, if you will, a mental equivalent of a happy life. And it's an invitation to not only have that happy life, but to do it out loud, clapping and stomping your feet and shouting hooray. My talk title today is "If You're Happy and You Know It," and as Babs said, my only response is to clap my hands. I am happy. I am really happy to be here today. To be standing here in front of you, whether you're here at Sophie's or you're invited me into your home. I'm really happy today because it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you. Been 2 weeks since I've been standing in front of you. I'm happy to have just heard the amazing Karen Daly's beautiful voice and that wonderful song. I'm happy to be serving today with Heather and with Michelle and Babs, all brilliant practitioners. And I'm happy that we're serving together this magnificent community, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Now, while I am happy that I'm here today, I was also happy that I spent the last 2 weeks on vacation. This being real. Cruising around the Mediterranean and the Adriatic seas. Really happy that it was actually happening, because it was initially being planned well over 2 years ago. I'm happy to have spent those 2 weeks in really some magnificent weather. Just mild, upper 60s, lower 70s, sun shining every day except one. And on that day there was we brought our umbrellas, but I never had to open it up. It was magnificent. I was happy to have spent those 2 weeks exploring little bits, if you will, little bits of 7 different countries. Spain, France, Monaco, Montenegro, Croatia, Italy, and Slovenia. Cities such as Barcelona and Marseille, Aix-en-Provence, Monte Carlo, Cannes, Livorno, Naples, Rome, Kotor, Dubrovnik, Koper, Trieste, Ravenna, and Venice. I'm happy that I was able to spend time with a captain and a crew that were just happy to be working again. We were the first group of people that they sailed with since this all started, and they were just happy to be doing what they absolutely love to do. Everyone was amazing, from the kitchen staff to the wait staff to the pool deck staff, to my room butler and his assistant, and to the front desk staff. Everyone was serving from joy. The excursions were plentiful, and they offered many different choices and experiences to be had. The bus drivers were extremely skilled at what they do, and thank God for that, because of all the hairpin turns and those very, very, very narrow cobblestone streets. The docents, I love to call them docents, they were tour guides or whatever, but I think it gives them an air, right? The docents, they were so knowledgeable about the cities and the surrounding areas, and they shared the history, and they shared their insight, and they shared stories. The dirt, right? We got a little bit of the dirt. and they shared them with pride and with playfulness. I was happy to be on such a magnificent ship, lots of inlaid wood and marble in a really beautiful design. The food was incredible. 4 specialty restaurants, 1 Italian, 1 French, 1 Asian, and 1 American steak and chop house, if you will. The grand dining room was incredible, not your everyday, ordinary buffet. They had a barista on the 14th level, right? And she was there every morning doling out lattes and cappuccinos at 6:30 in the morning. The absolute right and perfect place to watch the sunrise come up over the water. It was amazing. I was happy that I got to spend time with longtime friends and to spend and experience acquaintances in new ways and to meet some new friends. There were moments of rushing around and moments of stillness, moments of unbridled laughter and moments of quiet reflection. And what I realized as I was preparing for my talk this week and going over those last 2 weeks and my feelings about being here was that while I can describe to you some things that bring me happiness, that really I am for the most part and for most of the time simply happy for no reason at all. Last week Carol talked about fear. This week the conversation is around happiness. For me, it's one of the most important conversations that we need to begin with this morning is around our definition of happiness. Now, many people believe that it's synonymous with joy. I happen to not believe that is the truth. Some of us might assume that having happy feelings means that we are joyful, or that not having happy feelings means that we're not joyful. And once again, I don't believe that this is necessarily the truth. Many distinguish between joy and happiness by saying that joy is an inner attitude, whereas happiness is a fleeting emotion based on circumstances. Happiness is a bubbly, superficial, and circumstantial feeling that comes and goes, while joy is deep-seated and enduring. Happiness is an outward expression of elation, while joy is an experience of inward peace and contentment. Sounded a little bit different, yes? One of the causes of happiness, or often the causes of happiness, are earthly experiences or material objects, externally triggered and based on other people or other things or other places or other thoughts or other events in our lives. When circumstances are positive or we experience them as positive, then happiness appears. When we experience circumstances as negative, or what our perception is of negative, then often that happiness disappears. On the other hand, joy is lasting, and it's based on inner circumstances that are more often than not spiritual in nature, such as caring for others or gratitude or forgiveness. Joy is based on internal well-being or the expectation of internal well-being and is more consistent. It can be sustained in both positive and negative circumstances, meaning that joy can exist at the center of our being even if the experiences we are going through we are perceiving as something that is negative or challenging or a struggle. Joy can still be there like the sun that's hiding behind the clouds. It comes when we make peace with who we are, when we make peace with why we are, and we make peace with how we are. Despite all of this, all of these different ways that they are different, happiness and joy are often used interchangeably. The English definition of the word joy, for example, often includes a reference to the emotion of happiness. Don't you love it when you go to the dictionary and it says, you're looking up happiness, and it says when you're happy. So we look up joy, and part of the definition includes happiness. So despite the fact that we can make distinctions about it, and that I believe that they're very different, it seems joy and happiness are inextricably intertwined. And that can be at times kind of confusing. Now, the bottom line is that happiness is driven by state of mind, by our consciousness, and by our awareness. If we live from a place of enthusiasm, if we live from a place of joyous expectancy and positivity, then that place that we live our lives from actually lifts our spirit. And it creates an aura around us that everyone can see and everyone can feel. Life then feels less like drudgery, regardless of how bad things might be in our own personal circumstances or in the world in general. We can learn to flip the story of our perspective, to see things more from a place as an opportunity for learning and for growth, rather than focusing on the negative side of the picture. If we turn our attention and our focus on the positive side of the picture, then everything can change. The more practiced we become at viewing life from that perspective, the more quickly we can learn to expect the unexpected. The more quickly we can learn to look for miracles at every turn, around every single corner. The more we can learn to really have a brighter outlook on life. The song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and I'm not going to sing that one this morning, has been an anthem for CSL centers all around the world for many years. It suggests that peace begins with the individual, with each and every single one of us. It basically says that right now is the moment for peace on earth. And that with every step, my solemn vow is to take and live each moment from that place of peace. Now, happiness can be exactly the same way. That it too begins with each and every single one of us, and it can be our choice to make a solemn vow to live our lives from that place. Abraham, as in the law of attraction, Abraham says, being happy is the cornerstone of all that you are. The underlying truth is that nothing is more important than that. And the good news is that we have absolute and utter control about that, because we can choose the thought that makes us worry or the thought that makes us happy. The thing that thrills us or the thing that saddens us. We have the choice in every moment. Now, I would like to add that while this might be absolutely true in principle, and absolutely in accordance and in alignment with the law of attraction, that there are those of us that experience anxiety and depression and mental illness, that their experience of that is so challenging that they may need assistance to really navigate back to their wholeness. And I believe that we're all on our own paths, and that our experiences cannot be simply brushed under the rug with some spiritual platitude or some spiritual bypass. While I believe that everything can and often does change in a moment of grace, I also believe that God is in the therapy and God is in the medicine. And that it behooves each and every single one of us to support one another with love and compassion. For the rest of us, our work is to choose from all of that that feels best to us, that feels good to us, and to focus on it as long as it gives us pleasure and joy. In doing so, we will align with God. We will align with the energy of Source. And we will live a magnificent life. The invitation is to not let our joy be dependent on anyone or anything else. To affirm for ourselves, I am happy. I am the space and place of joy itself. Abraham also said the idea of success for most people revolves around money or acquiring things. But we consider a state of joy as the greatest achievement of success. Always, the invitation is to fill our lives with those things we love and bring us joy, and to release what doesn't serve us. So the invitation is to set the intention to really practice the art of choosing happiness, time and time again, no matter what. No matter what. Each and every moment of each and every single day, say, I choose happiness. I choose joy. In her book, Choose Joy, Kay Warren tells us that research shows us that we all fall somewhere right along a bell curve. This bell curve. That at one end of that bell curve are people who don't struggle too much to experience joy. They wake up each and every single morning in that energy of happiness. Their natural temperament is optimistic and upbeat. For them, the glass is always half full. The vast majority of us are somewhere, right? Somewhere in that big bell part, in the middle of the bell curve. Life isn't awful. We're pretty happy. Not too high, not too low. We don't normally get over discouraged or depressed. We might admit to feeling tired sometimes, or perhaps a little bored by the routine of it all, but then we'd be really quick to jump in and to add that nothing's really wrong. Everything's fine. As the bell curve moves downward, there's a group of people at the other end. For them, getting out of bed every day might be a chore. Smiling and laughing are very hard to do, and life seems to be a struggle. For them, joy has simply vanished. Now, this might be, being down here at this end could be a normal response to stresses in a relationship, or to the loss of a job, or to receiving a diagnosis, or perhaps deep grief after a loss. But when we are unable to move through those moments, then we can get mired in despair. I believe that in our humanness, we can find ourselves anywhere on that bell curve at any given time, depending upon the circumstances and the relationships in our lives. But does it have to be that way? Does it have to be that way? The bottom line is that joy is an aspect of God. Joy is a God quality. And since we were created by God, out of God's stuff, in its image and likeness, then joy is right where we are. Always. We arrived on the planet imbued with it. It is who we are at our very core. The ultimate source of all joy is God, and it is within us. It's not outside of ourselves. It's not externally in the people or the possessions or the places or the positions. that we find ourselves within in the external world of form. Joy is within us. Happiness can kind of come and go, at least in my definition of it. So what is it that we need to be or that we need to do to allow the innate joy that is within us to be the experience of our lives no matter what? In her book, Happy for No Reason, Marcy Shimoff shares 7 steps to build a home for happiness and the habits that go with them. So I'm going to share them very quickly this morning. We begin with the foundation of the home. And the foundation of the home has the tagline, take ownership of your happiness. The habits of the foundation are A, focus on solutions, B, look for the lesson and the gifts, and C, make peace with yourself. There are then 4 pillars of the house. The first pillar is the pillar of the mind. And the tagline I happen to love is, don't believe everything you think. The habits of the pillar are A, question your thoughts. B, go beyond the mind, freeing yourself from your negative thoughts and feelings. And C, incline your mind toward leaning into the thoughts that support your happiness. Turn your attention there. The second pillar is the pillar of the heart. And the tagline is to let love lead. The habits of the pillar of the heart are A, focus on gratitude. B, practice forgiveness. And C, spread loving kindness. The third pillar is the pillar of the body. The tagline is make yourselves happy. The habits of the pillar of the body are A, nourish your body through optimal nutrition and supplementation. B, energize your body with movement, breath, and proper rest. C, tune into your body's wisdom by listening to what your body needs. It will tell you. Like right now, my body is screaming for a drink of water. If anyone is so kind. The fourth pillar is the pillar of the soul. And the tagline is plug yourself into spirit. The habits of the pillar of the soul are A, invite connection with your higher power through prayer, meditation, or time in nature. B, listen to your inner voice. C, trust life's unfolding by opening to grace and putting yourself in the flow of life. Next is the roof, or the roof as I would have said it when I first got out of Minnesota. The roof. That took a village. Appreciate it. The habits, the tagline for the roof is live a life inspired by purpose. And the habits of the roof are A, find your passion by discovering what truly matters to you and aligning yourself with what makes your heart sing. B, follow the inspiration of the moment by focusing on what you want and allowing yourself to be led to how it will unfold. Ixnay on the control. Let go of the manipulation. And C, contribute to something greater than yourself by responding to your inner calling to serve others in both small and great ways. And lastly is the garden. Every house has to have a garden. The tagline is cultivate nourishing relationships. The habits of the garden are A, tend to your relationships by appreciating the people in your lives. Love them and let them know you love them. B, surround yourself with a support system that assists you to stay focused on living your best life. That reminds you time and time again who and what you really are. And C, see the world. I mean, everyone with no exception. See the world as your family by feeling a sense of love and connection to all of humanity, to all sentient beings on the planet. Whatever we want to call it, happiness or joy is an inside job. It's an inside job, and it starts with the individual. It starts with each and every single one of us. We all have to be 100% responsible for the happiness on the planet, because it starts one person at a time. It takes commitment and choice to really live from the place and space of happiness and joy, as there are, as we can attest to, many other choices that we can make and do. When we individually choose to live from happiness and joy, we can also make a positive impact on others. When we do our part, happiness not only positively affects our own experience of life, but it also enhances the whole, the collective human family. So how cool is that? To absolutely know that we as individuals, each and every single one of us, is a viable force for good in the world. Woohoo! This confirms the reciprocal nature of the universe. As we let our individual lights shine, as we step into our own joy and proclaim it loudly, as the song invites us to, the world gets brighter. The world becomes happier. The world becomes more harmonious and more peaceful. If you're happy and you know it, then your life is going to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And so it is. So it is. So I just invite you to turn within, to put a punctuation on this morning in prayer, to allow ourselves to turn away from that world of form and to turn our attention and intention to the center of our beings, that space and place that I call God, that is the very essence of joy, the very essence of happiness. I know that I am connected deeply in ways that can never be separate from this space within me, from that spark of the divine, that light within. It is deeper than my very breath. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely the truth of each and every person here at Sophie's this morning, each and every person within the sound of my voice, each and every person that will watch this recording later on at some other point in time, each and every sentient being on the planet. We are all divine emanations of the One, ambassadors of its presence on the planet. And it is from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today, truly knowing that there is a way that we can live our lives from the core of our being, that we can live our lives from joy, that no matter what is going on around us, or our perception of what is going around us, or what we say about what is going on around us, or what we say about ourselves, or what we say about each other, the truth is that we are all the very essence and presence of God, that we are all divine emanations, one human family connected by that golden thread of God stuff. That who we are as an individual, that the joy, the happiness that we bring forward in our own lives touches the lives of every close person in our proximity, and that through some crazy magical way of a butterfly flapping its wings here is felt in China, that happiness can uplift the entire happiness of the planet. This I believe to be absolutely true. And so I claim ease and grace for each of us around doing our small part, leaning into who we are, creating that home for happiness. From the foundation to the garden, from the pillars to the roof. Doing what we know is ours to do in all kinds of practical ways. Each and every single day, choosing, because we can, joy. Choosing because we can, happiness. Choosing because we can, peace. Choosing because we can, love. And let it emanate in our very existence on the planet. Changing our own lives and changing the lives of everyone. Creating a world that works for everyone. And I'm so grateful to know this truth. So grateful to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes. That my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them with love and gratitude and full expectation of their manifestation. Letting go and letting God be God. I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world. Simply by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you all so very much. It is now time for our conscious giving. This is the time every week when we consciously choose to share of our treasures and to financially assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Triangle area, and to know that our giving prospers the one giving and adds to the experience of sufficiency on the planet. And so I just invite everyone to please say our call and response after me. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. Thank you all so very much for the generous giving of your time and your talent and your treasure. This is an amazing community, and I'm so grateful for each and every single one of us. And now in this moment, I am grateful and happy once again that we get to hear the beautiful voice of the magnificent Karen Daly.
Thank you, Dusty. Thank you so much. That was perfect. Frankly, perfect. Just what I needed to hear. So this song I pull out usually ends up in my bank about once a year. It just makes me happy. It's a song written by Patty Griffin. I don't know how many of you know her or familiar with her, but she jokes about it because most of her other songs are pretty serious and kind of sad or about breakups or going through hard times. And this is a song called Heavenly Day, and she wrote it about her dog. So she didn't have anything negative to say about it at all. So I love it. I think about people, animals, everything, but it just reminds me to have a good day. Whoa, heaven. heavenly day. All the clouds blew away. Got no troubles today. Anyone smile on your face. I've been longing to see. It's enough for me, baby. It's enough for me. On this heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. Tomorrow may rain your sorrow. Here's a little time we can borrow. In all our troubles, in these moments so true, oh, we can write down the only thing that will all that we really gotta do is have a heavenly day. Lay here and watch the trees sway. I can't see no other way. No way. Heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. There's no one on my shoulder bringing me fears. Got no clouds up above me bringing me tears. Got nothing to tell you, don't have nothing much to say. Only I'm glad to be here with you. Oh, this heavenly, 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 heavenly day. Oh, oh, all my troubles, they've gone away. For a little while, anyway, it's all okay on this heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day, this heavenly day, this heavenly day. Oh, on this heavenly day. Have a heavenly day, everybody. Love you.
One of my favorite songs that wasn't written by John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Thank you. That was beautiful, Cary. If anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the page, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all of the ministers and the practitioners. And if anyone would like a flower dedication to anyone for anything, like the lovely one that we had today for Ava Ladocha, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Also, very important, we would love it if you would attend our community meeting later today at 2:30. It will be held on Zoom. A link came out on the Wednesday newsletter, or you can get it from our website. On Sunday, May 29th, I'm laughing because I was thinking a lot about this. Our Sunday celebration will be streamed live from our meditation retreat at St. Francis Springs Retreat Center. The reason I was laughing is because it's not the usual time and everything. The meditation will be at 9:45 and the service at 10:15. We will not be live at Sophie's on that Sunday, May 29th. So put it in your phone, put it on your calendar, put a sticky note on your dashboard, write it on the back of your hand, because I know that some of us, like me, would be likely to show up here otherwise. Please join us on our regular Facebook and YouTube channels for that. Reverend Dusty will be speaking from the Retreat Center, and Miles and Latha Costin will be the musicians. We'll return to Sophie's on Sunday, June 9th. Thank you for your flexibility. And now, in the comfort of your own home or here, please stand for our May affirmation. This is a call and response. Please say it with meaning and repeat after me. Waiting for the crowd to get ready. A variety of emotions serve to add spice to my life. I commit to leaning into them and learning from them. I face my fears and allow faith to lead the way. While anger can be like a hurricane, I know that in the eye of the storm there is peace. Therefore, I can find calm waters in the midst of the turbulence. Sadness is a primary emotion that we will all feel at some point or another. I surrender and allow the sadness to wash over me and pass. The experience of my life is an inside job, and it starts with me. I am blessed and grateful for my emotions and what they bring to my life. And so it is. Carol and the rest of you know why I laughed. Okay, please turn within. I'm going to do a benediction, and then Reverend Dusty will come up and say a brief word. With the assurance that the loving presence is always here, closer to me than breathing, nearer than hands and feet, I have nothing to fear. I feel this loving protection around me. I know that it is a bulwark of strength. I know that it is not only a song of joy, but a song of love and protection. Knowing this, I am the very essence of God. Joy wells up within my heart, and life sings through me in radiant ecstasy. And I know that this is what we bring into our lives today and moving forward, and I'm so grateful for you all, so grateful for this beautiful community, for this service together, and all this love, and so it is.
Thank you all so very much for your presence here at Sophie's, for inviting us into your homes. Have a really magnificent week. Choose happiness, choose joy, and just, see what happens. I love you all. So happy to be back. Take care.